hence the term, you know, work in progress, I guess. What we have here is the beginnings of a GameCube remix. These are all sound effects that I've recorded of an actual GameCube, which I got when I was about 13, I think. Good memories. And so I've taken these sounds and I've kind of tried to just compose something with these. This beep here is actually a beep that occurs from the actual CD system. This is not an oscillator or a synthesizer. This is actually a sound emanating from the GameCube itself. Then we move on a little further towards the main section. At the time of remixing The Secret Garden to produce my track Mary's Magic, I managed to produce a kind of a second, more basic remix, which is what we have here. It's not titled, it's not finished, I wouldn't even call it well structured, but there are some bits of it that I like, so let's take a listen to some of this. Obviously all a lot of chords from the film being composed with each other. And then I start introducing some vocals from the film. And what I do over here is there's a cook that works in the house of the main character of the film. And there's this morning scene where she's singing in the kitchen, one of the famous, I think one of the King Henry songs or something like that. And so I sampled her voice and worked it in here. So I actually kind of like it. I'm not too sorry to see it go. I think it's a good back catalogue track to have, but I don't see myself doing anything with this anytime soon. Before I decided on a structure and a sound for my remix of Snow White entitled Wishery, I produced a very similar sounding track but with more of a house beat to it, and this is what I sort of came up with. So here we have the same vocals coming up. We are standing by to the well. We are standing by to the well. We are standing by. We are standing. And obviously there I'm bringing in some more of that round bass. And here we start kind of building it into more of a chorus. And a bit of a break from the dwarves. Yeah. And back to a chorus. So you can see that what I do really when I make these tracks is that I lay them out to a very basic structure just so that I can listen to them on an iPod or something, and that way I find it's much easier for me to judge if the track's taking off or not when I can listen to it in a casual environment like that. So obviously we got this sample here, which is familiar from the earlier track. Some really nice chordy stuff there. Usual ride cymbals and stuff. So I actually kind of like this. It's very simple, but I think the final Wishery track with the hip-hop beat and the extra complexity and more sections came out a lot nicer. Every so often I'll kind of go through this phase in my life where I just want to make something. I don't want to make something structured. I don't want to bother with mastering. I just want to whip something out as fast as I can. And so around the time of the production of Skynet Symphonic, my remix of Terminator 2, I had one of these such phases. So I sort of whipped this together in the space of, I don't know, 5 minutes. And listening back on it for the first time in a long time now, it's actually kind of cool. So this is what I came up with. I'll introduce it to you in layers to give it a bit of structure. So it's kind of like this weird, abstract, deep house sort of thing, but I'm actually kind of liking it. Obviously, Skynet Symphonic has enough sections in it as it is, so stuff like this really just ends up going on the back catalogue. So there we have it, folks. There certainly is quite a bit of stuff like this that I've produced over the years that I've never ended up doing anything with. I would say that 8 out of every 10 tracks I produce go unfinished or unreleased. I certainly hope to change this in the near future. I hope to release, or at least finish a lot of these tracks and create a kind of a catalog on my website where I can release some of these things and get them out, because even I really wish I had some of these on my iPod, and I kind of have this rule of not putting anything on my iPod that isn't finished, because otherwise I teach my brain that it's a finished track, and then I feel less inclined to go back and work on it some more. So like I said, there's a lot of stuff here, guys, and I really hope to get it all out in the near future. So thanks very much for tuning in. Look out for more behind Pogo videos in the near future.